everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at how podcasts make money.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, it is. And we're going to be drawing all this information from how podcasts make money. A complete guide.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we're going to be diving into that and just looking at, all the different ways that podcasts can bring in revenue.
Right.
Whether you are like a podcast enthusiast or, even just curious about the business side of things,
Wow.
you're in the right place. So.
Well, and it's a pretty fascinating landscape.
Yeah.
This whole world of podcasting.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the projections, it's on track to be a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And it's really kind of evolved from this niche hobby,
Yeah.
Into this
Yeah.
major player in media.
That's wild.
Yeah. And there's serious earning potential there for creators.
That's so cool. I mean, you think about all the different ways that
Yeah.
podcasts can make money. It's like,
Oh, yeah. It's not just one thing.
yeah. So, I mean, I guess let's start with the one that everybody knows. And that's ads, right?
Yeah, the good old ads, the pre-roll,
Yeah.
the mid-roll, the post-roll.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you know what's really kind of shaking things up these days?
What's that?
Dynamic ad insertion.
Dynamic ad insertion. Now, what is that?
So basically it allows podcasters to put new ads into older episodes
Oh, wow.
over time.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, you've got this library of content that people are still listening to.
Right.
Years later, evergreen content, as they call it.
Yeah.
But with this, you can actually keep making money off of it,
Oh, wow.
even though it's an older episode.
So it's not just your new stuff you're putting out. You
Okay.
can actually monetize your entire back catalog.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a smart strategy.
it is. And, it's pretty seamless for listeners, too.
Oh, good.
A lot of times they might not even notice if
Oh.
it's done well.
That's great. Okay, so we've got the ads,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also this whole idea of like direct listener support,
Yes.
which is kind of a whole different ballgame.
It is. It's all about fostering that direct connection between
Right.
the creator and the audience.
Yeah.
So, platforms like Patreon, for example,
Okay.
they let fans subscribe for bonus content. They get perks. They get that exclusive access.
I love that because it really does build a community
It does.
around a podcast,
It really does.
It's not just like a one-way street.
It's a shared experience.
Yeah.
It becomes this two-way street.
Exactly.
And, it's really rewarding
Yeah.
for everyone involved.
Totally.
The listeners get a deeper connection. They get the things that they want.
Right.
And the creators, they get that financial stability, and they also get feedback from their most dedicated fans.
Yeah. And that's so valuable.
It is.
Okay, so we've got ads, we've got listener support.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this next one is really interesting to me.
Okay.
This whole idea of affiliate marketing,
Yes.
which seems like it would be a really natural fit for podcasters.
It really is.
Yeah, so how does that work?
So essentially, you're recommending products and services that kind of fit with your niche.
Yeah, okay.
And then you earn a commission on anything that your listeners buy.
Oh, through like a special link.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So, for example, you've got a true crime podcast.
Right.
You might recommend a book on forensic science,
Okay.
or a history podcast might partner with a genealogy service.
Right.
Things like that.
So it's all about choosing things that really resonate with your audience.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's got to be authentic.
Right. It can't feel forced.
You can't. Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered ads, listener support, affiliate marketing. What else is there?
Well, there's also premium content, and that's
Yeah.
becoming increasingly popular.
Premium content. Okay. Yeah, have you heard much about that?
A little bit, yeah. How does that work?
So basically you're offering exclusive content
Okay.
to people who pay.
Okay.
So it could be like ad-free episodes, bonus interviews,
Okay.
maybe behind-the-scenes access, things like that.
And platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, they've made this a lot easier for creators to implement.
So it's kind of a win-win, right?
It is.
Because listeners get like a better experience
They do.
and the creators get a more stable income.
Exactly.
Right.
And it also strengthens that bond with
Yeah.
the most dedicated fans.
Totally.
So yeah, it's a really good option for a lot of people.
Yeah. This is great, but wait a minute, there's more.
There's always more.
This guide also talks about live events,
Yes.
which I think is so cool.
Live events are amazing.
Yeah.
They're a really powerful way to take this virtual world of podcasting
Yeah.
and bring it into a real life experience.
Exactly.
So you could do things like live recordings, workshops,
Oh, wow.
meet and greets, all kinds of things.
Then you can make money from ticket sales and sponsorships.
Exactly.
Right, it's such a good idea.
And, it's really great for community building.
Yeah.
It just creates this really memorable experience for everybody.
It's true. It's true. This is so cool. I mean, we're just scratching the surface here,
We are.
but I'm already blown away.
It's pretty remarkable, isn't it?
By all the different ways
Yeah.
that podcasts can make money.
And we haven't even talked about YouTube yet,
Oh, that's right.
or brand collaborations, or the world of licensing and syndication.
Oh my goodness, there's so much to unpack here.
There is.
We're going to have to save that for next time.
Definitely.
Yeah, so stay tuned because we're going to be diving into all of that in part 2 of this deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
Me too. This is
And
going to be great.
It is.
All right, so until then, happy podcasting, everyone.
See you next time.
All right, so welcome back for part 2 of our deep dive into making money with podcasts. And, as we're going through this guide, I'm really struck by this whole idea of like podcasting as a launch pad.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just about the podcast itself.
Right.
It's about building like a platform and an audience.
Absolutely.
And then ultimately like a brand.
That's a really good point. And this guide really emphasizes that.
It does.
A successful podcast, it can really open doors
Yeah,
to all sorts of opportunities.
totally. So let's break that down, I guess.
Okay.
What are some of these beyond the podcast
Yeah.
opportunities?
Well, one big one is brand collaborations.
Okay.
So, as you build that loyal audience,
Right.
and you establish yourself as kind of an expert in your niche,
Mm-hmm.
you might find that brands will approach you
Oh, wow.
for partnerships.
Okay.
And these go beyond just like running ads
Right.
in your episodes.
So it could be like creating content together.
Exactly.
Or maybe like a product line.
Yeah, like a limited edition, something.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So think about like a food podcast partnering with a meal kit company,
Okay.
or a fitness podcast working with like an athletic wear brand.
Oh, yeah. That makes total sense.
Yeah, so it's all about finding those synergies
Yeah.
where the podcast and the brand, they both benefit.
It's a win-win.
Exactly. And, it doesn't have to be these huge, big-name brands.
Okay.
You can also collaborate with smaller businesses,
Oh, cool.
even individual entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
That can be really beneficial for everyone.
So it's all about like tapping into that niche audience
It is, yeah.
who's already interested in your stuff.
Exactly. And those listeners, they're already primed
Right.
to be receptive to those brands that you recommend.
Makes sense. And you know what else I'm thinking about? It's like when you have a successful podcast, it's like you become an expert
Yeah.
in your field.
You do. You become that go-to resource.
Right. So
Yeah,
then
yeah.
that opens up all these other opportunities,
Exactly.
like consulting or speaking engagements.
It does, yeah. You could be advising companies.
Oh, well,
You could be giving workshops. Maybe you get invited to speak at an industry event.
that's so cool. It's like that whole thing, do what
Mhm.
you love and the money will follow.
Right.
But it's more like build a great podcast
Mm-hmm.
and the opportunities will follow.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah. Okay, but with all this talk about building a business and like expanding your reach,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's one thing we can't forget.
And what's that?
Authenticity.
Ah, yes,
And
authenticity.
it keeps coming up.
It does. And it's for a good reason.
Yeah.
Because listeners can spot a phony a mile away.
It's true.
They want to connect with real people. They want to hear genuine stories.
Yeah.
And they want to know that the recommendations you're making,
Mhm.
that those are coming from the heart.
It has to be real.
It does.
So it's not just about chasing the money. It's about staying true to yourself.
And to your audience.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess it's not just about what you say, it's like how you say it too.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Like think about the tone of your podcast.
Mhm.
Is it conversational?
Right.
Is it relatable?
Do you let your personality come through?
Exactly, because people connect with people,
They do.
not robots or corporate scripts.
Right. And that's actually a big point in this guide.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's your most valuable asset.
I like that.
Yeah. So don't be afraid to be yourself.
Right.
Share your quirks, your humor, your unique perspective.
Because people want to feel like they're part of a conversation,
They do.
not just being lectured to.
Exactly. And that sense of connection, that
Yeah.
shared experience, that's what keeps people coming back.
Totally.
That's what builds trust and
Right.
loyalty.
And those are so important for any business.
Absolutely, including a podcast.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like when you have that trust and that loyalty,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you can really explore all these different revenue streams
Exactly.
and opportunities.
It all starts with a strong foundation.
Okay, so how do we build that strong foundation?
Well, first of all, be consistent.
Uh-huh.
Show up regularly,
Right.
deliver high-quality content,
Mm.
let your listeners know that you're in it for the long haul.
It's like any relationship.
It-
Consistency is key.
Exactly. You can't just like pop in and out whenever
Right.
you feel like it.
You got to nurture it.
You do.
Yeah.
And also be interactive.
Okay.
Engage with your listeners on social media.
Yeah.
Respond to their comments. Maybe even incorporate some of their feedback.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, into your episodes.
It's like you're making them feel seen and heard.
Exactly, they're part of the conversation,
Yeah.
not just passive consumers.
I love that. So it sounds like building that community, it takes time.
It does. It's not an overnight process,
Yeah.
but the more you invest in those relationships, the more rewarding it's going to be.
For everyone.
For everyone, creatively and financially.
This has been so insightful.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
It feels like we've gone way beyond just the
Yeah.
basics of how podcasts make money.
We've gotten into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, it's like we're really looking at what it takes to build a successful podcasting
Yeah,
business.
guess what?
Ah.
We still have more ground to cover.
Oh, that's right.
Me too.
Okay, well, stay tuned then, because in part 3, we're going to be talking about YouTube strategies, licensing deals, and all those other advanced monetization methods that can really take your podcast to the next level. Welcome back, everyone, for the final part of our deep dive into podcast monetization. And, we've talked about all kinds of strategies, ads, listener support, brand collaborations.
It's been a lot.
It really has. But there's this one platform that we haven't mentioned yet, and it has huge potential.
Oh, you're talking about YouTube.
YouTube. And
Yeah, it's really become this powerful tool for podcasters.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You reach a whole new audience and tap into new revenue streams.
That's awesome. So how do you actually leverage YouTube as a podcaster? Like, what are some good strategies?
One thing you can do is create like video versions of your episodes.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be anything super fancy. You just record the audio with like a static image or a slideshow.
Right.
But the point is to have something visual that you can upload.
So you're adapting it to the visual medium.
Exactly. And don't forget about the YouTube algorithm.
Oh, right.
You got to use keywords in your titles and descriptions and tags
Okay.
so that people can find your content.
That makes sense. And what about monetization on YouTube? I know there's something called the partner program.
Yeah. So once you hit certain requirements, like a certain number of subscribers and watch hours,
Okay.
you can join that program, and then you can start earning revenue
Oh, cool.
from ads.
So it's kind of like traditional ad revenue, but it's tied to the video views.
Exactly. And there are other ways to monetize on YouTube, too.
Really? Like what?
Well, there's this thing called Super Chat,
Super Chat.
where viewers can pay to have their messages highlighted during a live stream.
Oh, wow.
And you could also sell merch related to your podcast.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, so there's a lot you can do.
Wow. Okay, so we've got YouTube, and I guess there's this last revenue stream.
Yeah.
That I kind of want to dig into a little bit more. It always seems a bit mysterious to me.
Which one is that?
Licensing and syndication?
Yeah, the big leagues.
Yeah, so how does that actually work?
Well, imagine you've got this awesome podcast series.
Okay.
Super high quality. Let's say it's about the history of space exploration.
Okay.
Really well researched, engaging. It's got a growing audience. And now let's say there's a streaming platform
Okay.
or a network or even an educational institution.
Okay.
And they want to license your series
Right.
to offer to their subscribers or their students.
So it's like you're selling the rights to your content
In a way, yeah.
so they can distribute it.
Yeah, they pay you a licensing fee,
Okay.
and then they get to offer your content to their audience.
So you're reaching way more people.
Exactly, and you're making more money.
That's incredible. But I imagine it's not easy to get to that point.
It's not. It takes work.
Yeah.
You need really great content.
Okay.
You need good production value and a proven track record.
So you really have to build a reputation for yourself.
Yeah, you have to establish yourself as like an authority in your niche.
Wow. So it's all about creating something truly exceptional.
It is. And, it's funny. This whole deep dive has really highlighted how important it is to be strategic
Yeah.
about your podcasting journey.
It's like you have to have a plan.
You do. You have to understand your audience. You have to explore those revenue streams
Yeah.
and think about the business side of things.
It's not just creating content you love.
Right. It's about building a sustainable business.
And I think that's really the key takeaway here.
I think so, too.
It's like it's not just about the money, it's about connecting with people.
Yeah.
Sharing your passion, building a community.
Like having fun.
Exactly.
It's about the journey.
And with that, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
Sounds good.
We've learned so much about the world of podcast monetization.
We really have.
So many different strategies and opportunities, and I hope you have too.
Me too.
Podcasting, it's a powerful platform.
It is.
And it's only getting bigger.
It's true.
So keep creating, keep experimenting, and most importantly, keep having fun out there.
That's the best part.
All right, everyone, that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Hi, everyone.